Hey, before we get started, remember y'all are starting to do this, and I'm digging on your action. Like, subscribe, and comment on our YouTube chat. Man, our shows, I don't know, they get a ton of comments. A lot of you like our stuff. Let us know. If you don't like our stuff, let us know. I can handle it. I'm a big boy. I mean, I look like this every day. What the hell? You don't want to miss out on the action. Charlie gets it going. Hot Mike, me, Ricky Cobb, Clay Travis. You got Riley Gaines in there. You got all kind of good folks. Tyrus, who just had a great interview with Adam Pac-Man Jones. The whole world is fantastic if you go to the OutKick YouTube page. I'm struggling today because it's Monday and Illinois State lost, but that didn't stop WNBA players and head morons, head haters, head racists, head sexists, Angel Reese and her sidekick, Dejanay Carrington, from going on a podcast. And when these two go on a podcast, you know what's going to happen. You got a duck. There's more stupid. Stupid, arrogance, entitlement, racism, sexism will fly. I is the word of the day. You know, speaking of women's basketball, let me drop something about Juju Watkins. Juju Watkins is a really good player. Like, she's the closest to being a really good boys high school player that I've seen, including Caitlin Clark. But I got to tell you, she has no personality. I mean, I don't know who told Juju Watkins, the star player at USC, to act sullen all the time, to look like she's pissed all the time. But if you want to know why Caitlin Clark appeals, that's another one of the reasons. She looks like she's angry, mean, happy, sad, angry, or glad. And don't tell me Juju Watkins has a game face. No, she just looks unhappy. She looks like what Kevin Durant's trying to be in press conferences, and it's really stupid. I mean, you want to grow the game? All right, grow the game. Magic Johnson grew the game with his big, bright smile. Larry Bird grew the game with his hillbilly charm. Isaiah Thompson, the cherub face. I don't even know what cherub means, but they used to call him that. He had the cherub face, and a little child shall leave them. Isaiah 11. I don't know. All I'm saying is, if you want to play in the big leagues, if you want to be somebody that transcends the game, you got to have a personality. Now, I will give Angel Reese this. She has a personality. It's ignorance. It's stupid. I mean, it's really stupid. But at least she has a personality. The other one, Dejanay Carrington, I mean, you wouldn't even know who she was if she didn't try to beat up Caitlin Clark in a game. You wouldn't even know. But these two clowns got together as the dumbest people in sports. And I would make the argument they are hopping on a podcast and saying, wait for it, they need more money, threatening to hold out if they don't get what they want. Would anybody notice? Here's these two fools.
Mm-hmm. We all did it.
Yeah, the CBA is coming up. I can't wait.
Girl, y'all benefited from everything. Y'all youngins benefited from NIL.
What does that mean? We deserve more.
Of course.
Everybody.
I agree.
Everybody.
I agree with that.
But we got to get paid the consequences. Damn, we got to get it up.
Y'all got to do something. Y'all got to do something.
But the women coming in, not this year, but next year. Because the ones coming in this year will still be on the rookie contract again. Mm-hmm. The ones that the year after, they going to get more. They probably going to be making more than us.
No, they are.
I'm hurt.
They are. Like, yeah. I've been in the meetings. They are.
I need to get in the. I need to get in the field.
You need to come to the
meetings.
meetings.
I gotta get in the meetings because I'm hearing like, they don't give us. If y'all don't give us what we want, like, we sitting out.
That's a possibility for real.
Yeah.
It was
good. I mean, those two went to college. I want you to think about that. Those two went to college. A school let them in. Two schools in a couple of cases. How about that? It's pretty astounding, really. I mean, I understand we don't hold anybody to any type of educational or intellectual standard. I get it. But listen to those two and realize a college let both of them in. So you're going to sit out. You lost 40, 50 million. You know who would clap for you all sitting out? The NBA. So they don't have to subsidize your dumbasses to the tune of 40 to 50 million a year. Like, if I'm an NBA owner, I didn't get rich by wasting a couple million on something that has no chance of making money. Honest to God. So these two, sit out. Sit out. See what happens. Now, I would miss watching the Fever. I would miss watching Caitlin Clark, but I wouldn't miss anything else, and it wouldn't be like I would actually miss it. I'd be like, they didn't play good. I hope you do sit out. I really do. I love how y'all have selective hearing. I said I'm hearing if they don't give us what we want, we sitting out. And that's the truth. Good. I never say anything about the NBA. We are prepared to stay at the negotiating table for as long as it takes. I guarantee you, the people that are actually going to be at the negotiating table are saying right now this word. Will you shut up? Seriously. I guarantee you, those women, the intelligent ones, the one that have a brain, the one that are actually going to sit down and do this, are saying to Angel Reese, shut up, take off your clothes, show your ass, talk about how Hollywood stars want to date you, and move it along. Let us handle this, young lady. Let us handle this, and you just keep being stupid. That's it. And work on your layups. I guarantee you, the intelligent folks, and there are plenty in the WNBA, are saying, will you two idiots just shut up? Sit out. The reaction was unbelievable. No, it really was. Here's the link to my podcast so you can hear the conversation too. I will continue to use my voice to speak for what we want and deserve as a league. Thank you. No, that's not what you did. You said me, I. They're going to get more than us. I deserve more, blah, blah, blah. Oh, shut up. You know, you'd actually, if you really want to go into business, you need to pay some money back. I mean, you made nothing. You made absolutely nothing. You haven't really enhanced the league. Caitlin Clark has. If Angel Reese came into the league without Caitlin Clark, nobody would know who Dijon Carrington was, her sidekick, or no one would know who Angel Reese is. And I have a suggestion for you. Don't sit out. You have a real opportunity right now. The only time, think about it. Baseball is going to go away on ESPN. ESPN is pushing women's sports like never before. ESPN needs inventory. What are they going to put on in the summer without baseball? They're going to go back to, rugby, Australian rules football, Magnus von Magnus live from Stade lifting beer cans over his head. What are they going to put on? You got a great opportunity. Instead of being stupid, instead of having every single person with a reasonable mind say, look, morons, nobody's going to miss you. This is your time. Take advantage of it. Instead, people are saying, look, morons, you're just morons. And the more you talk, the dumber you sound. I hate to say it. I do. Because I'm sure everybody's really nice, but let's talk business. The more you talk, the dumber you sound. In business, the person that talks the most gets the worst deal. In business, the person who stays silent gets the better deal. So these two idiots are going out and talking, and owners are going to be like, look, sit out. You showed your hand. Good for you. Sit out. That's what I would do. If I was funding this league, I'd say, all right, hold on. Enough. You got a golden goose. We all got one. We caught one in Caitlin Clark. These people that are criticizing Caitlin Clark, these people that are hitting Caitlin Clark, these people that are talking as if they are as important as Caitlin Clark are hurting our opportunity. They're hurting the brand. So, head of the Players Association, tell these idiots to shut up, stand down, because their threats are meaningless to the average viewer. Meaningless. Yes, there might be 4 women, Chimichanga, whoever the hell is on ESPN, Chimmy, and all the women are. All right, they might tell you we're supposed to be upset by it. And there will be a bunch of people from Iowa that would be upset by it. But really, the average viewer isn't going to care even a little bit. In fact, I would argue the average viewer isn't even going to know that the WNBA isn't playing. What should happen is college basketball should fill the gap, and it should start this year. College basketball should figure it out. John Calipari and I have been talking about this for years. College basketball should put on grand events in August right here, Indianapolis, at Duke, in Cameron Indoor, at the Dean Dome, in Louisville, in Kentucky, Rupp Arena. I mean, every other league does it. Every other college sport does it. Football has spring football, although that seems to be going away. Baseball has fall baseball. Softball has fall softball. Volleyball has spring volleyball. It's a fall sport. Literally every sport has 2 seasons except college basketball. And that's dumb. At some point, you got to put this sport when football isn't going. So, the NBA, the WNBA wants to sit, good. That opens inventory for Kentucky, Indiana, Louisville, and Purdue right there in the Dome in the summer. 60,000 people there going crazy on a 2-night tournament. Beats the hell out of watching Angel Reese miss free throws and layups and throw the ball off the underneath of the backboard and not know the rules. Stop it, stupid. Friend of the show, friend of mine, and the originator of the number 11 jersey, seen over my shoulder right here, the great Isaiah Thomas, I don't blame him for this, revealed he declined to be featured in HBO's Celtic City documentary after he claims he was set up and blindsided in The Last Dance, the hit series about Michael Jordan that was all the rage like every Sunday night during COVID. Here's Zeke.
100%. I decided not to do the Boston documentary because of what Jordan in The Last Dance did. They totally set me up and blindsided me. And you know, I wasn't going to get fooled twice. So I just decided not to participate in the documentary and be able to talk about it. But I wasn't going to go on film and sit there and be set up and potentially be set up again like I was set up in The Last Dance.
100%. I don't blame him even a little bit. Not even close. I mean, when they wanted to do that big thing on Bob Knight years ago, I knew the guy Abbott, who was the director, the producer, whatever he was. I knew he was running it. I knew he was a bad guy. And I knew that this wasn't going to go well, so I told ESPN, my employer, I'm not doing it. I totally get it. You know, here's the deal. You do something, and it's there forever. You do something, and then you're at the whim of whoever is running the ship. Isaiah Thomas did get screwed. I mean, he tells a story. He showed up early. He showed up in a suit. He was respectful of The Last Dance. He did interviews. The next thing you know, Michael Jordan's calling him an asshole for all the world to see, and you can't come back from that no matter how much Isaiah Thomas goes at Michael Jordan, or no matter how much Isaiah Thomas, in my opinion, is the best little guard to ever play basketball. Doesn't matter. Michael Jordan is above and beyond every media guy. Michael Jordan has done awful things in his life, but he has managed to stay above the fray. Isaiah Thomas is on the wrong side of the media. Man, I don't blame Isaiah Thomas one bit. Again, when you sit down for an interview and that producer is sitting over there and he's asking you questions and you answer them honestly, well, as soon as that interview's over, everybody shakes hands. Everybody, hey, thank you. Boom. Boom. Now you're at their whim. Happened to me actually at ESPN before I worked for them. They screwed me big time. But when they came to hire me, the money was too good and I had to go. When Bob Knight was being fired, I get it. Good for Isaiah Thomas. Look, let's not forget. The Celtics against the Pistons, the Bulls against the Pistons, the Lakers against the Pistons. They were all enemies back then. This isn't these long-haired little sissies that are playing professional basketball, hugging each other and exchanging jerseys and going, oh, my God. No, these were men. Grown-ass men balling, fouling, knocking the crap out of each other on a nightly basis. And now, 40 years later, they're still rivals. Good for Isaiah Thomas. No, great for Isaiah Thomas. All right, one of the biggest dirtbags in media is Jay Mariotti. Jay Mariotti has always been a dirtbag. My opinion, I've watched him. I actually met him one time when I was a head coach in Indiana, and I just thought, this guy's filthy. Former ESPN Around the Horn panelist, Jay Mariotti, blasted his former show. He was one of the OGs, along with Woody Page. And former CEO John Skipper, claiming the former ESPN exec pushed the panelist-driven show to go woke. Well, that's obvious. When it first started out, it was simply a show. It was simply a show. You know what I mean? It was a show about sports, and guys would get on there, and blah, 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 blah. But the truth of the matter is that it did become woke. And if you know anything about John Skipper, the former head who was ousted, who knows why? Was it cocaine, cross-dressing? I don't know. A lot of people have a lot of different rumors. But anyway, Skipper wanted the whole network to go broke. That's why you see him currently with Meadowlark, whatever it is, Meadowlark Media. Who's his star? Dan Lebitard, the king of the woke. Absolutely the king of the woke. So when you go about the business of ESPN or Round the Horn, it did. And Mariotti's not right. John Skipper ran ESPN at the time. I think what Skipper wanted from some of the shows was he started to install people on the shows who became anti-Trump. Can I put it that way? Our show was about sports. That's right. Honestly, we did delve into politics, but you're never going to get me on ripping the president or praising the president. We're not going to do that far. I started to watch the show, and I would see people down and out anti-Trump. I'm not going to tell you whether I'm a Trump guy or not. It's really irrelevant. He's right. Why do you think they had those folks on? Why do you think Bomani Jones came on? Why do you think Sarah Spain was on there? It wasn't necessarily, in my opinion, that they were anti-Trump. They were very liberal. And that's the direction John Skipper wanted. And it started by bringing liberal people on. And then it became political. And then Skipper didn't mind it. New guy comes in. Next thing you know, they say don't do politics. Next thing you know, a couple African-Americans challenge it. Next thing you know, Jimmy Patero backs down. Next thing you know, ESPN's woke. Next thing you know, the show's gone. Because the culture changed. If you notice, very rarely, other than when Wilbon tries to be something that he's not, PTI has maintained. Why? They stay out of politics. ESPN, sports. It's what they do. And they do it very well. When they do sports, games are great. Buck, Aikman, fantastic. The baseball, always good. Softball, terrific. College baseball, wonderful. College basketball, the whole deal. College football, game day now. There you go. But when you look at the Jamels Hill, the Michael Smiths, the Sarah Spains, the Bomani Jones, good for them. They took a show that was pretty good with a pretty good lineup. Made it fun and then ruined it. All because, well, ESPN had to go broke and was afraid of DEI, afraid of African Americans, and they just gave in. Next thing you know, people rejected it, and it's gone. I did not want to watch a sports show and see it delve into that. And I think it started at the top from management, right? At the time that they wanted this to be the tone of the show, Jamel Hill had her say. Michael Smith had her say. I was like, can we get back to this? He's right. These idiots had their say. Now, Jamel Hill responded, I don't really appreciate Jay bringing my name into this, or my friend Michael Smith. For one, I don't even know Jay like that. What do you mean like that? It's not about knowing Jay like that. Like anything. That's always the answer, right? I don't know him like that. No. Jay Mariotti was one of their stars, so he understood the business of it. He understood how it went. And of course they started listening to Jamel Hill and Michael Smith. I mean, why else do you think they put him on the 6, which is the worst sports center ever? They tried to get hip. They tried to get cool. They tried to get diverse. They tried to get basically BET, and it didn't work. It didn't work because it was black. It didn't work because the two people at the anchor desk were uninteresting. There's nothing interesting about Jamel Hill talking sports. There's nothing interesting about the very vanilla Michael Smith talking sports. There wasn't. Secondly, I started doing ATH 0708. Donald Trump obviously wasn't in office then, so to jest, ESPN started putting anti-Trump folks on the show on purpose is just a dumb statement. No. It is a dumb statement. I told you. They put these folks in there at that time because the shift. Trump just had to happen to come in. They wanted a shift. They wanted to make it woke. They saw what was going on. That's what they do. They get trends. They saw what was going on. They got ahead of it. They hired her and then started the movement, and Trump came in, and it was perfect for them. The beauty of ATH is that it was a mechanism to get a variety of voices on air. It has launched and furthered so many careers, including mine. Having run over 20 years in sports television is a testament to what an institution this show became. Yeah, it was pretty good. And then it wasn't. And then it had to go. And once ESPN got afraid of the Jamel Hills, got afraid of the race car, it went away. Because people in normal life, they're not afraid. Not anymore. Chiefs wide receiver Xavier Worthy will not be charged following his arrest Friday night for an alleged assault. Williamson County, Texas district attorney there told the Austin American Statesman on Saturday it started with Rashee Rice. It continues with Xavier Worthy. What is up with these Chiefs players? All right, here's a mugshot of Xavier Worthy. Worthy was booked in the jail by the Williams County Sheriff's Department for assault of a family or house member by impeding the breathing or circulation, meaning he choked somebody. Online records did not have any details of the arrest. The online court listing for the case updated to dismiss decline later Saturday. Well, good for him. Good for him. Hope nothing happened. Hope whoever was the victim in this, however there you describe the victim, is okay. I'm not going to lump in Xavier Worthy with Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice is on video doing what he did, acting as he acted. And I'm still a little bit shocked that the NFL hasn't done anything about it. But I'm not going to lump Xavier Worthy in there. Yeah, he got arrested, and yeah, he got dismissed. I've learned, you know this. I don't believe all victims. I don't believe all of the perpetrators. I believe the evidence, and apparently so did the folks in Texas. They dismissed the charges. So I'm not going to be unfair to Worthy and lump him in. We'll see what further comes out, because I'm guessing as big as football is in Texas, and obviously Worthy being a star at the University of Texas and having a hell of a rookie year on the biggest team in the NFL, which is the Kansas City Chiefs, I'm guessing people are going to continue to probe. We'll see what happens. But I'm not lumping him in with that. Bill Simmons labeled Mavericks head coach Jason Kidd a dumbass for his comments he made when firing back at the accusations made by Davis Dennis Jr. The accusations were the organization of Dallas Mavericks played Kyrie Irving too many minutes, leading to his ACL tear. Now, I'm going to say something at the end of this that I truly believe, and it's probably not the right thing, but I'm going to say it anyway. Let's listen.
He's gone.
Well,
Gafford's
did you see?
gone.
Did you see
Hardy's
Kid's
gone.
thing? Did you see Kid's thing about he took real offense that people thought it was the increased workload that hurt Kyrie's knee, and he's like, it was a fluke injury. It was like, dude,
Took offense.
we've been following the NBA our whole lives. Like, this is Klay Thompson going down the 2019 finals because he was playing like crazy minutes and doing some crazy workload, and then all of a sudden his leg blew out. Like, this is what happens in the league. The more you put on these guys, the more likely it is they're going to break down, dumbass.
I have a question. I have a serious question, because that trade was immediately.
This is why I have no problem. Zero problem with athletes like LeBron James confronting Stephen A. Smith or somebody like Jason Kidd confronting him and even punching him. I honestly don't. I mean, there's nothing tough about Bill Simmons. Bill Simmons talks like there's nothing. Never been in the arena. Yeah, he writes a book. Yeah, he's got a podcast. Yeah, he's been following the league. Good for him. Jason Kidd's been in the league. Jason Kidd is there every day. See, I don't mind somebody saying, you know what, Jason Kidd's wrong. Here's what I believe. Here's what I've come. But you call him a dumbass. See, I got no problem Jason Kidd walks up to Bill Simmons and punches him. I honestly don't. I know you're not supposed to do that. I know Simmons' weak ass would probably go about the business of saying, well, he assaulted me, and do all the bullshit that pussies do. I get that. I do. I honestly do. But if you're going to call a guy a dumbass, that is a complete lack of respect. So I got no problem with LeBron James, although many do. Many have said, look, you brought your son Bronny into this by saying he was better than a lot of NBA players now, and Stephen A. Smith was just commenting however he was commenting, and good. But I don't blame LeBron James, not even a little bit. He wasn't talking to Stephen A. Smith. He doesn't know Stephen A. Smith like that, to quote Jamel Hill. But I got no problem. I would love to see it, matter of fact. See, these guys, myself included on TV, as I always said, anybody that's mad at me as an athlete, whether it's an Indiana player, coach, I'm very easy to find. And however you'd like to handle it, as I told the athletic director at Indiana one time, when he said something very asinine to me upon not hiring me, I said, look, we can handle this one of three ways. We can handle this in person by talking. We can handle this via email, or we can handle this physically. Whatever you'd like to do. Doesn't matter to me. Oh, well, no. Oh, okay. So I have no problem. None. It doesn't make me a tough guy. Just makes me a little tired of jackasses on TV doing things like this, calling somebody a dumbass or calling somebody out or acting like somebody's not good enough when their fat ass, including my fat ass, is just sitting here commenting on it. Look, there's nothing like playing. Second to that is coaching. I've been in this business a long time. Best analyst ESPN's ever had, at least according to the bosses at ESPN. But I wasn't inside the sport when I was around it every single day. I wasn't inside it. And neither is Bill Simmons. So to call Jason Kidd a dumbass for an opinion that he shared about his own team, I would have no problem with Kidd confronting and knocking the shit out of Bill Simmons. That makes me a bad guy, then it makes me a bad guy. Makes me an old school tough guy? I don't think so. I just think it's common sense. Simmons can sit his dopey ass over here talking about things he really doesn't know. I don't care if he's been following. I don't care if he's written a book. It's just sickening to watch these assholes every day talk about people out there busting their backsides. I'm sorry about swearing. Busting their backside and then calling them childish names. It's ridiculous. And I'm going to disagree with my own script here. LeBron James can't handle the media going after his son, Bronny James. No, he can handle it. Why can't he handle it, Nick and Nick? I mean, why? Just because a guy confronts somebody doesn't mean that LeBron James can't handle it. He's handling it. I mean, what is he supposed to do? Like, some of us weren't built just to turn and go, well, that's okay. I started it. So, no. I think he's handling it perfectly if you want to know the truth. Okay, LeBron James is the worst player in the NBA statistically. So he called out Stephen A. Smith on the court, prompting Smith to having to explain himself on his own show. And that's great. But he handled it. People always say that. Well, he can't handle it. What do you mean? What didn't he handle? He saw a man. He confronted a man face to face. That's handling it, in my opinion. Here's Smith.
He approached me during the game, and he said, "Stop effing with my son. That's my effing son. Stop effing with my son." I said, "What? Nah, man, straight up, man to man. Real talk. Stop effing with my son." And I saw how furious he was. And I said, "We can talk about it later." "Nah, F that. Stop effing with my son. That's my son. I said, "All right, dog. Fine." And he walked away. That's all he said. I knew what he was talking about. I've spoken about this before. Matter of fact, I heard that not many, not all, but a few players were upset at me about that. I think one player in particular was Draymond Green, who I haven't spoken to since and has no desire to speak to me primarily because of this, I suppose. And I found out the way that I found out, which was last night.
Yeah, I support any athlete or coach knocking the shit out of guys that want to talk shit about him. I do. See, what Smith say, right? He walks around like this tough guy, like he's an athlete. No, dog. And I said, yeah. I mean, I support, I do. Look, I'm doing a show. I'm going to be honest with you. I support any athlete or coach knocking the absolute shit out of a media member that talks personal about them. Now, not about, well, you screwed up this last second shot or anything like that. No, nothing like that. LeBron James handled that perfectly. I'm pissed off. I'm not going through the media. I see you sitting right there. Boom. Now, I would argue knowing, well, I don't know him, but how Smith operates and LeBron operates, I'm guessing this was a setup. Why is he sitting right there in this particular game? I would argue this is a bit of a WWE move. I would argue that they got on the phone later and said, "Hey, man, that's pretty good, huh? This will stop other guys from talking about my son." But I think James handled it perfectly. And I support any athlete or coach knocking the living hell out of Stephen A. Smith, Bill Simmons, me, anybody. If you get personal, I've gotten personal about Indiana basketball players and coaches. Anybody wants to come up to me, shoot, I'm easy. I'll be at the Big Ten tournament. I support you. Give it a try. But I do. I'm not going to charge $5 unless you come up from behind. But can you imagine if LeBron just knocked his ass out? I mean, the bitching, whining, and moaning and victimhood of Smith or Bill Simmons hiding up in his podcast. I do. I'm sorry. I just do. And I'm contrary to my script here. I think that LeBron James handled that beautifully. Beats the hell out of doing it in back channels. Beats the hell out of doing it through the media. beats the hell out of calling into a show or sending a tweet. Shoot, saw man to man, let's go. Anyway, NFL free agency starts. And ladies and gentlemen, if you are a Colts fan, you know what's going to happen. Zip, nada. The big free agent signing of last year, Raekwon Davis, they cut him. He barely played. I mean, we've been there 8-9 years, and there's nothing going on with the Colts. But anyway, other places, Josh Allen, how about this? Good for Josh Allen. Had 4 years left on his contract. They upped him. 6 years, $330 million. $330 million. Honest to God. Whew. 6 years, 330. Wow. Myles Garrett was going to leave. Myles Garrett was leaving. I hate Cleveland. We can't win here. Now we just made you the highest paid non-quarterback. 4 years, 160 in the NFL. I love Cleveland. Guess who's back? Back. Miles is back. DK Metcalf, yeah, I'm getting out of Seattle. That deal is done, apparently. And a lot of people are feeling like, all right, Justin Fields is now up for grabs. Pittsburgh signed DK Metcalf, got him for 5 years, $150 million. That's only $30 a year. The people are feeling that's the reunion. That's the reunion with Russell Wilson that gets Justin Fields out of there. I hope so. Come to Indy. I'll take Justin Fields in Indy. Devontae Adams, 2 years, $46 million to go to the Rams. I wanted Devontae. I want everybody in Indy. I just want something. Honest to God, Nick Bolton, Chiefs, 3 years, $45 million. Listen to these numbers. An outside linebacker, Harold Landry, 3 years, $43.5. Jamian Sherwood, 3 years, $45 with the Jets. Running back, I love Aaron Jones. I think Aaron Jones is great. Aaron Jones, Vikings, 2 years, $20 million. I love Aaron Jones. I do. I love him. I mean, I don't kind of sort of love him. I think Aaron Jones is a pro's pro. Let me go back to Isaiah Thomas for just a minute. My boy Aaron makes a good point. See, we talked about Isaiah Thomas not being in or wanting to be in the new Celtics documentary because he was set up once. See, I so much support that. I do. I so support that. I mean, the deal is simple, right? The deal is very, very simple. He made the statement, jokingly or not, that Larry Bird, if he was a black player, would just be another player. Now, you know they're going to use that if Isaiah does anything. You know they're not going to make Isaiah look good in that. You know they're going to twist that. And it doesn't really matter what Isaiah says because I said this before and I'll say this again. When you do you're sitting there. I've done these. There's a camera. There's a producer right there. He's feeding you questions. You're giving the answers. And then as soon as that's over, the second that's over, you are at the whim of that guy, particularly when it's adversarial. I'm not saying it's totally adversarial. I'm not saying there can't be something good between Isaiah and the Celtics, but let's be honest, going back in the day, it's adversarial. Bird not like he pushed for Isaiah to be on the dream team. I know Jordan held all the cards, but Bird and Magic could have said, yo, Mike, come on. Let's, Hell, they could have kept Jordan off the damn dream team, put Isaiah on, and still won by 50. Jordan could have sat his ass back home. I don't understand the NBA acquiescing to Jordan. Isaiah Thomas, it's a long time ago. But when you are Isaiah Thomas and you've already been burnt, why risk it again? Why have to wait and see how this thing comes out if I get called an ass or I get called a racist or I get called whatever? So good for him. Really, really good for him. No. So anyway, long story short, I support Isaiah doing that. I do. I think Isaiah Thomas is brilliant. I'm a big fan. Best little guard in the history of the NBA. Toughest guy maybe in the history of the NBA. One of the biggest winners in the history of the NBA. Only guy to go through Jordan, Bird, Magic to win not one but two titles in the history of the NBA. I mean, damn. And I don't know about you, but there ain't a whole hell of a lot of Hall of Famers on his roster with him. Yes, Joe Dumars, maybe Adrian Dantley at one point, but I mean, all of a sudden, John Sally, Dennis Rodman, and Bill Lane Beer were greats. Vinnie Johnson, greats. I mean, Isaiah was the straw that stirred the drink, and I support the living crap out of him.